My name is Beigler. Me and my wife Lauren, we farm in southwest Minnesota.
Our family farms around 2,500 acres of corn and soybeans. We have 3 young children who are 10, 8, and 7. Our farm that we currently live on has been in their family for just over 130 years, so quite a while.
About 7 years ago, we were conventional tillage. After harvest, we would go out and make our tillage pass in the fall and then another pass in the spring and stuff. And we had started having more of these big rain events in the spring.
We would see a lot of washing, a lot of erosion that way. And then in the winter, we would also notice with bare soil, we are very windy around here since we are near the Buffalo Ridge. So we would have a lot of wind erosion. We really needed to rethink how we were thinking about taking care of our soils and what we were doing every year.
That spring, I just got done planting, and a few days later, we got 3 inches of rain in about an hour. And I had ruts and gullies washed all over the field. And then that fall, I decided that I had to do some changes. I had a neighbor of mine come in and do some custom strip tilling for me, about 60 acres, just to see what it does. I was happy with it, and the next year I decided to buy my own strip till machine and did all my acres that were going to be going into corn the following season. I strip tilled all those acres.
Once you kind of felt comfortable with that, then we added in the cover crops and started looking at vertical tillage and just kind of snowballed from there.
Well, the biggest benefits I've seen from it so far are wind erosion has been knocked down to about 0%. Also, the water erosion's been cut drastically from what I used to see.
The choices that we're making out in the field and all of the changes that we've made, I think all relates back to this, that we're very cognizant of the fact that we're part of a bigger picture. So whether it be water that goes down through the soil into our well or comes out in a tile and goes to a ditch like this, we just want to know that we're doing the best we can with the land that we farm, so we're being responsible to all of our neighbors. We realize these waters just keep going into bigger and bigger bodies of water, and they're enjoyed by and used by more people than just us. So we want to make sure we're doing the best job that we can to make sure that resource is clean and the best that it can be for everybody.
My name is Jody DeYoung-Hughes, and I work for the University of Minnesota Extension. I help farmers reduce their tillage, kind of look at the soil health, and so that they have less compaction issues, a healthier soil, better water infiltration. For the past almost 20 years, I've been working on helping farmers reduce tillage. But in Minnesota, we're still kind of afraid to take that leap into no-till. And there's some good reasons why. We have seen a lot wetter soils, and it takes a while for no-till to have the soil build up its structure. So cover crops is a way to help speed up that process, because those active roots are helping to form the soil into aggregates and building that structure in the soil. So it's not just one thing, it's 2 things, and you put them together to get even a better response.
It's certainly not something that you're going to go out in 1 year and get to tell all of it if it's going to work or not. It's there's going to be failures on it. I've had some issues with it going into corn, seeding corn and not getting it terminated at the right time. And I've had a little bit of reduction on corn yield with that. Then once in a while, the way I do apply it, you are relying on a rain to get the stuff growing. You're not seeding the stuff into the soil so you get good seed soil contact, you get it to grow all the time. So sometimes that can be a hindrance on it.
My name is Nick Peiske. I'm an agronomist. That's what we do at Central Crop Consulting, is agronomy services and advice. Some of Brian's early questions around strip till was, like everybody else's, what do you think of it? Is it going to work, or what have you seen? And my experience back then was pretty limited, and he moved forward with it, and I was shocked. I mean, the first year or 2, he still pulled off some pretty good yields that were similar to what we were seeing or should have been expecting those years in the area. And so that started to change my mind then at that point. Since then, I mean, it seems like it's only gotten better and a little more steady over time.
The financial benefit is kind of hard to put into a nice, neat package. You have small savings here, you have small savings there, whether it be fuel. We use a lot less fuel for tillage than when we were doing full conventional tillage, 1/2 to 1/4 of the amount of fuel per acre that we were using before. But yeah, it's hard to put an exact number on it, and I think that's why it's difficult for a lot of people to want to even try it, because show me in dollars and cents how this is going to benefit me. There are a lot of I don't want to say intangible, but we've always said all along there's no line on your balance sheet for soil health. So for us, there's a big benefit sustainability-wise to having healthy soil, to keeping our soils in our fields.
Once that's gone, you can't get that back. I mean, to rebuild topsoil, to build an inch takes like hundreds of years or 100 years or something like that to build just a topsoil. While we're eroding it a lot faster than we can ever rebuild it. So we got to try to keep what we have there now because we'll never be able to get it back to what it was.